Alright, mic is on. Alright. Another weekend, another chilled stream, that's all. Why does the file say untrusted? I made the game mode. It's customized and they're saying it's untrusted. How would you know? MCC.
Firefight.
The BNet shows Covenant activity in this sector. Dig in and make sure they don't get past you.
Maybe I should have put them on heroic instead.
First strike. Double kill. Double kill. Killing spree. Double kill.
Hey Ratchet, what's up?
Double kill.
Xbox got a new opening, or a new boot up screen now. And it's better than the last one. Don't you just hate it when companies simplify their logos? It's quite metaphoric if you think about it. So many companies that simplify their logos.
Killing frenzy.
It's just another way for them to say, yeah, we're gonna also simplify our products.
Double kill.
Old logos were better than the new ones today.
Yeah.
Look how flat the Pepsi logo is. It used to have details, even though small, but they were still details nonetheless. And now it's just a flat image, flat JPEG.
Double kill. Running riot. Double kill.
It's gonna be funny, the fact that the Halo 1 remake will have new weapons.
Double
Weapons
kill.
that weren't in the original, such as the Brute Spike. But it seems kind of fitting
Rampage.
when you remember that Halo Reach had the Brutes. And I just also realized that since it is a remake, we're getting back the plasma rifle, thank God.
Reinforcements.
No
Double
more plasma carbine, thank God. Fully automatic plasma rifle. I don't know why 343 hated it. They gave us too many
Double
burst
kill.
fire guns. Speaking of which. Can't believe season 3 for ZZZ is just around the corner. I've been so busy grinding in so many games, I didn't realize it was already this soon.
Double kill.
Not only that, even it's also coming out on the same day as the Steam port. Yeah, no, I don't think Genshin will ever come to Steam. At this point, Hoyoverse would rather stick Genshin into their own website portal.
Triple kill.
Honkai, on the other hand, maybe I can see it getting a Steam release. Maybe.
Reinforcements.
And yes, it will have cross-save progression. All you need to do is make sure you have a Hoyoverse account, and then just link it. That's it. I imagine it could also... I haven't seen the Steam page, but I imagine it's compatible to the Steam Deck.
Triple kill.
I don't even have enough polychromes. It's over for my... Well, at least on the bright side, halfway through the update, since ZZZ will be entering its second anniversary? Yeah. Oh yeah, since it will be entering its anniversary soon. 4th of July!
Reinforcements.
Then, yeah, expect some goodies, perhaps. And maybe free drops, who knows. Remember the previous anniversaries they've done? They spoiled a lot of people, man. They gave us free S-rank characters. Even characters that weren't even from the standard banner. Hence, you know, the old saying, Genshin could never. Oh yeah? Well, Honkai could never either.
Invincible. 5 enemies remaining.
Oh, that was going nowhere.
Last enemy, double kill.
However, since the anniversary is next month, I imagine the first phase banner is gonna expire before we even get the good stuff throughout July, which means if you're in luck for phase 2 banner, you'll most likely have more polychromes, more rolls, more chances of getting the other new character. But you most likely would want to roll for the first one, since the first new character in the first banner is not only, yeah, sure, she's another anomaly, but she's a wind character. New element. Unless Hoyoverse plans to purposely adjust the gacha rate so that not everybody, most people can get the new character. Yeah, that would be great, but why would they do that? As the saying goes, their greed sickens me. I feel like, however, it's somewhat of an anomaly of itself. Whenever there's a new season with one or two new characters, it feels like the gacha is passive that most people would get the new characters. I said most, not all. Not everybody gets lucky. My luck ran out with ZZZ at some point. Which makes sense considering I managed to get all the members of... Oh, jeez, when did he show up? All the members of Angel of Delusion. My luck had to run out at some point. What? I only sticked it on you and you fainted. They better make the hunters as challenging as that, but let me tell you, man, Halo Reach's hunters, especially the boss forms, is complete bull. You can hardly, like, get around them. Jesus, Halo 1 explosion. Back when grenades would cause a chain reaction if they were just left on the ground.
Double kill.
Oh shoot, they sent it. Oh no, it's not a hunter, it's a heavy grunt.
Reinforcements. Double kill. Double kill.
Oh yeah, I didn't mention it during all the game highlights we've been getting. Doom Dark Ages is getting DLC, which shouldn't come as a surprise. But if I just want to admit one thing, I wish that... Wow. I wish Doom Guy kept his armor. I don't know why they're stripping him. I'd be fine if it was just a skin, but... They're stripping him. Like, yes, we get it. He's got nice muscles, nice abs, but that's not what made Doom Guy iconic. Oh shit. Wow, they can really throw it. Wow, good throw. I thought the brutes had it worse.
5 enemies remaining. Two enemies remaining. Last enemy. Lives added.
That was only
Weapon
this
drop.
second wave. Or round.
Round start. Kill. Tacky. Double kill.
Oh,
Double kill.
of funny that, if I'm not mistaken, for all the characters that were shown for season 3, among them was Seth's older brother. I think that was. I forgot. I don't remember his name. But yeah, he did present himself during season 2.
Double kill.
Wonder what his weapon is, or what kind of fighting style he takes on. Oh, I'm sure we're gonna get like some kind of character arc with him. Because the two brothers don't see eye to eye. And they're clearly on different leagues with one another. Seth working for NEPS, which is basically just, you know, the police department. And Seth's older brother, clearly his presence speaks a lot. Yeah, he probably works at a higher position.
Double kill.
Back off! Boy!
Double kill.
I wonder who our next antagonist will be. Aside of what we know about last time we checked. If I recall, the antagonist was apparently there's a new AI. An AI of a higher class than Fairy.
Double kill.
I already forgot the name of it, of that AI. Oh, I don't even throw a grenade at least.
Double kill. Double kill.
And yeah, who will be our next antagonist?
Double kill.
Who will be the next cult leader on behalf of the creator? Oh, the headshot? He had his helmet on. Aw, I wish the crate would have crushed him.
Killing frenzy. 5 enemies remaining. Double kill.
Watch out! Just have to find out next week. In the next episode of Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Z.
2 enemies remaining. Last enemy.
It's like your typical shonen anime. More or less. But you have to wait a whole month for the next episode.
Skull.
Which is pretty much enough, you know,
Bonus round.
sufficient.
Good luck.
Because, you know, even today, at the anime industry and cartoons today, or I should say cartoons back in the day, you know, it would be like 1 new episode per week. But when a new episode takes too long to make, they can't meet the deadline, they gotta rerun the entire season from back to 1.
Triple kill. Double kill.
Acknowledged. Shoot is a go.
Watch out!
Killing. Untouchable. Double kill.
Watch out!
Double kill. Double kill.
Fire for effect.
Overkill. Triple kill.
Oh, apparently, when it comes to Bell and Wise's, their form, their stand, you can actually choose, despite whichever sibling you choose to be like the main, well, main
round
character position. No, you can actually
Weapon drop.
choose which sibling should be the one to have the stand. I'm sure there might be even an option to switch at any time. So basically, like if you chose Bell to be your main protagonist focus, you can still actually choose Wise to be the one to have the stand. Not that it makes a difference really, other than I guess presence, character details.
Kill.
And yeah, I think that's about it. That's like the only difference.
Triple kill. Triple kill. Reinforcements. Double kill. Invincible.
Jesus. I forget, did they say I know Onimusha Dawn of Dreams is going to be included to the PlayStation catalog. But did they say when it was going to be released? Actually,
Double kill.
Hang on. Maybe I can just look it up myself. Hang on. Ah, shoot. Keyboard not plugged in. On PS5, let me just see. Also available for individual purchase. Okay. But, release date. Oh, August. Really? 2 months from now? For a classic game on PS2, playable on PS5. It takes 2 months for that to happen. And Onimusha Way of the Sword comes out literally next month after that. And they still haven't even... They did port the first 2 Onimusha games. And yeah, I know, people will be wondering, but where's 3? Oh, whoops, wrong gun. Well, 3 has its own licensing issues, from what I understand, from what I've heard. Specifically, the actors.
Double kill. Reinforcements.
And don't forget, Onimusha also takes place in France.
Double kill.
And I'm sure some people of today's
Triple
memes
kill.
would, you know, make fun of France.
Kill-tacular. Triple kill.
Yeah, I never played any of the Onimusha games. And of course, especially the spin-offs.
Triple kill.
The only game that I ever played
Reinforcements.
in the main line was just Dawn of Dreams.
Triple kill.
I still remember back in the day, since it was my first Onimusha, I bought myself one of those guidebooks. I think it was Prima.
Double kill.
And even with that guidebook, I was still stuck on some puzzles. I don't know if there was like one that is meant to be built as in like RNG style. And no amount of reading, no amount of text reading was enough to prepare me for the final act of the game where you go through a boss gauntlet. It was my first Onimusha, and I had my ass kicked too many times. But it was still a great experience, nonetheless. The game does have New Game Plus, so you can carry on your progress, replay the entire campaign. And why wouldn't you? I say the story was, well, in my opinion, it was great. It does make, at least from what I remember, at least just the ending, it does have a reference to the classic Onimusha game. And at least one of the main characters, Jubei, she carries the name after her grandfather.
Sniper spree. Fire remaining.
What did that box ever do to you?
2 enemies remaining. Last enemy. Double kill. Lives added. Weapon drop.
Round prime.
And
Call
yes,
for
say
fire.
what you will if anybody has
Round start.
any disagreement with Onimusha Dawn of Dreams, it is still canon. Considering that if you played the third game literally ends on a cliffhanger.
Overkill.
Happy ending, but cliffhanger nonetheless. Where anybody who knows the story of the history of Japan, once Nobunaga was out of the picture, one of Nobunaga's retainer, Hideyoshi, would take over. And that's literally how the third game ended. So it's like, oh, okay, the fourth game is in the making then. And thus Dawn of Dream became a thing. Whole set of new characters,
Triple kill.
but still the same problem. Genma's everywhere. Nobunaga, no longer the villain. Now it's Hideyoshi. Wow, nice throw.
Reinforcements.
Also, there were some neat end game unlockables that the game had. There was like an actual dedicated 1v1, I wouldn't say a fighting game, but kind of like a one-on-one 3D fighting game versus mode. And let me tell you, the most OP character was just a regular Genma. Slow attack, but once your special meter fills up, Genma has an that has you just do like a continuous swing, and you have like invincible frames while doing it. And you can keep doing it, stun lock your opponent, and win! Although, I think the other character you get to play as, who is in the versus mode, one of the bosses, Shima Sakon. Yeah, no. The person who chooses the Genma, well, tough luck. Sakon is basically equivalent to Lu Bu, put it that way. Except we all know historically, Sakon is not that kind of person. Nah, that person the person that would nearly match Lu Bu's level was Tarakatsu Honda, which unfortunately is not in the game.
Triple kill.
Also, there is a cheat code in the game where you can. Unfortunately, you have to keep inputting it every time you boot up the game. Of a secret 2-player mode. And more or less, it kind of works. They even, because it's built into the game, actually, some areas where the camera would, you know, go into a fixed camera mode, kind of like the old Onimusha games or Resident Evil. Yeah, it actually does. There are cameras that adjust, cater to the 2-player mode.
Sharpshooter.
And I'm not mistaken, at least in 2-player mode, you can revive before, so that, yeah, I think you can revive another player. Because normally, in single player, if any of your character dies, it's game over, literally. Go back to your last checkpoint or the last save or whatever.
Double kill.
Which is, yeah, bullshit. It's like, why? Well, actually, no. Only the... No. Scratch that. No. The character that you control, if the one you're in control dies, then it's game over. But because the game uses a command system, it's a partner duo kind of a game. For the most part, not throughout the entire game. If your partner dies, they can just self-revive at some point over time, or at least when no enemies are nearby, or give them a healing. I don't remember, because yeah, the game does have like a command system. You can have them follow and attack, go all out,
double kill,
stay in defense and heal, but they can only heal up to 50% of their health. And I forgot what the fourth option was. But be warned when you tell them to go all out, because for whatever reason, somebody at Capcom says, let's make the game challenging. If the player chooses go all out, that character has their health drained. Just naturally, just HP goes down. So then it's like, why would you even do that when follow and attack works the same way, but at least, you know, their health doesn't get drained. In that case though, you might as well, I don't know, play the game 2-player mode.
triple kill.
Wow, I literally walked into that.
Five enemies remaining.
Uh-oh.
Two enemies remaining. Last enemy, double kill. Lives added.
Oh yeah, and if I recall, the original, or not, I shouldn't call it original. Yeah, in Dawn of Dreams,
Round
the game
start.
was packed in 2 discs. So you can imagine what New Game Plus must be like.
Spree.
Like, once you beat the game, you have to insert disc 1. Which also meant that
Double kill.
since the game needs both discs to, you know, do a complete playthrough, make sure you take good care of them. Otherwise, imagine if one of the two discs gets scratched up and is all messy. Well, then again, that's kind of like also the same case with Final Fantasy VII, the original, that is. And that was like 3 discs, wasn't it? Well, soon we're gonna have 3. In the future, we're gonna have a physical copy of the remake, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Rebirth, and Revelation. And it's gonna be a callback to the original. But if you were a true Final Fantasy fan, FF7 fan, you would own 3 separate discs and then the whole bundle. And I know I can already name one person who's already gonna do that. Think how much money that is, though. Hey, that's not my fault you blew your face up.
Double kill.
Marvel's Wolverine will launch a new game plus on day 1 and not a free update. Oh, at least they came packed. At least they're launching the game in a full package, I guess. Like, you know, everything on day 1 kind of treatment. Apparently there's a bit of a, I don't know if I want to call it an issue. There is a certain company that is getting involved with the development of Wolverine. A company that is so despised by millions, if not everybody. Some company called Black Rock Studios. Basically a studio that intentionally forces game developers to make sure your game has a female protagonist and overpowers the males. So despite the game being called Wolverine, hey, Jean Grey is there, and she most likely might take the spotlight more than Wolverine somehow for a game that's called Wolverine. But that remains to be seen. Because if there's one thing that Insomniac, especially Sony, if there's one thing that they need right now, is regaining the players' trust with their first-party titles. Remember, Sony hasn't had any good deals, good stuff coming out of them. Heck, people were already questioning about God of War Laufey, or however it's pronounced. But I did say, you know, you have to cut them some slack. It was inevitable if you think about it. A God of War game that stars Kratos' wife, like considering that if you have played God of War 2018, they talk about her. It was literally like outside of the main story where Kratos and Atreus, you know, their journey all started just because they had to send her ashes to the highest mountains of the giants or something like that. But yeah, there's been talks about her. And yeah, Odin knows about her and needed answers from her or something like that. So again, inevitable. There was going to be a God of War game about her, starring her. And I assure you, for those people who did play God of War 2018, I bet you are all wondering, what does she look like? What was her story? I need to know more. And then yeah, there you go. Now you have a game about her. And now you're saying you don't want it? Oh, I know exactly why. I mean, yeah, if you know, you know. I'm not gonna say it. Even Sony knows, and yet they're still pushing it. And think about it, Spider-Man 2 didn't even get any DLC. Despite how the game... Well, if you're not playing the PC version, that is. Have you seen the PC version? Oh, shit. PC version was, well, not optimized properly. But apparently, despite selling well, Spider-Man 2 did not get any DLC planned. Nobody has confirmed the reason why, and I'm not gonna go on any kind of assumption. As if, no thank you. And now we have it, exactly. We have a God of War game about Kratos' wife. And is it going to be integral to the main plot in the future God of War game?
Double kill.
Probably. Like, obviously, there has to be a reason, a build-up. And also, if you're all going to complain about God of War Lao Fei, first of all, one, the game's not even out yet, so you can't make a quick judgment until you get hands-on experience. And two, did you all also forget that you are getting a God of War game that stars Kratos? Yeah, it's called God of War Trilogy Remake. So at least you will get your Kratos God of War game starring the main character. So, you know, it's not a total loss. Oh, trust me, if it would have had us... There would have been a huge negative impact if the trilogy was never announced and they only gave you God of War Lao Fei. If that happened, all trust with Sony and Santa Monica would be lost completely. And that would, and honestly, Santa Monica would be put under the rug, just like Bungie and Naughty Dog. Apparently, Naughty Dog is struggling with their new game, Intergalactic or something like that, because of Bungie, or what they've done with Bungie. The damage that, well, the damage that Marathon had caused on Sony and Bungie.
Lives added.
But that's from what I've heard.
Skulls on. Iron on. Bonus round. Good blood.
Holy shit!
Kill. Killing frenzy.
Here comes the hammer!
Attack. Kill atrocity. Green crusher. Double kill. Running riot.
It's like whack-a-mole, except there's explosions happening, and the moles are running away.
Kill him in the jar. Rampage. Triple kill. Kill him in the jar. Double kill. Touchable. Double kill. Triple kill. Double kill. Overkill.
And that's that.
Bonus
I
round
honestly
over.
expected to
Another
get myself
successful
blown
mission.
up halfway
If I was
there.
on the ground, I'd pin the medals on you myself.
Sony
Game
can't manage their
over.
own studio. I know. You know what it is? They got PS4 success syndrome. Or basically, because of the success of the PS4, the ego got so big that they thought they couldn't do any wrong with the PlayStation 5 era. Oh boy, whoever at Sony thought that though, most likely the higher-ups, they thought wrong. All they had to do was just, you know, make games with burly men and honestly sexy ladies, and that's it. And you know, at the time when Stellar Blade was a PlayStation exclusive, it worked. It proves that, hey, if you make a good, sexy looking female with good gameplay, then yeah, everybody will buy your game. And then if you think about it, The Last of Us Part 1, Joel was such a badass burly guy, a character that you cared about. And Ellie, before whatever she'd done in Part 2, at least Ellie actually had a good character development in Part 1. What happened in Part 2? Well, you can tell they didn't give a shit about Joel. They killed him off in the most pathetic way, considering that he's supposed to, you know, be an expert at survival and, you know, learn not to trust anybody. But then he gets killed off by the people he clearly should not have trusted. And then Ellie doesn't kill Abby because, well, somebody at Naughty Dog really wanted to piss the flames. Even bigger after Joel's death. Killzone is gone. All you got is Horizon. I mean, at least the first game was a fresh IP, so, you know, at least you gotta give them a little slack. But then the second game, I don't know, I don't hear people talk about the second game. I only heard good things about the first, and then second was kind of like, it exists. Well, the only game you can now get from Killzone is the PSP game, and the fourth one, Shadowfall. You can play the second and third game if you subscribe to PlayStation Plus and, you know, stream the game. Like, yeah, because, you know, PS3 games, non-existent. They had to end Destiny 2 support because Sony told Bungie, you know, focus on Marathon. We need to get people to jump on the Marathon wagon. They need to stop playing Destiny 2 and play the newer game. Period. Does Sony have their own racing game? Yes, they used to. There was, a long time ago, there was a game called Wipeout. Kind of like a F-Zero-ish kind of game. And then they had another racing game, Motorstorm on PS3. That was like, Motorstorm on PS3. That was a launch title, but that didn't go anywhere. And then because Little Big Planet is so successful, they made a Little Big Planet racing game. But before that, there was something called Mon Nation Racers or something like that. Yeah, Sony had too many racing games that none of which could compete with Nintendo's Mario Kart. Yeah, not even Little Big Planet. Sackboy couldn't not compete. But you know what they could do? Astrobot. now that Astrobot had a successful platformer and is clearly a successful IP, I don't see the harm of making a Astrobot racing game. And considering how many literally the amount of cameos that game has, yeah, I mean, it could work. Astrobot, you can play as Astrobot himself, or the Astrobot dressed up as a bunch of iconic PlayStation mascots and non-official mascots like Sephiroth, Cloud, you know, the PS1 days, or Crash Bandicoot, who is owned by Microsoft. You know, oh yeah, speaking of which, just a random thought now that I say that out loud. You know what? Call me crazy, but if Xbox wants to continue pushing the Xbox exclusive console thing, they should have just made Spyro, the new Spyro game, Xbox exclusive. They own Activision. I'm sorry, I know it's crazy for me to say that. And yes, I know Spyro and Crash Bandicoot had a history with Sony, PlayStation 1. That's the humble beginnings. But I'm sorry, but Sony lost the rat race. Actually, no, it was not even a race to begin with. It was just out of the blue, Microsoft buying Activision. But yeah, if you want people to buy your Xboxes, especially the next one, Project Helix, yeah, you might as well should have just made all Activision games, or at least most of them, not all, but most of them Xbox exclusive, including, I said this before, including Call of Duty. So that way, you know what could happen? Sony would then have all the reasons to start considering making or bringing back first-person shooter exclusives. Because yeah, remember once upon a time when Xbox had Halo, what did Sony have for the PS2? Killzone. And then there was on PS3 Resistance. But you know, at the end of the day, it was the Killzone. And yeah, that's the console wars between those two shooters. Sony, PlayStation fans had Killzone, Xbox fans had the Halo. Oh, and I guess because, you know, Resistance was on PS3, I guess that's equivalent to Gears of War, right? I mean, yeah, Resistance is first-person shooter, but what do they have in common? Humans versus aliens. Sort of. I mean, yeah, whatever the locusts are. And then Resistance aliens were called the Chimeras, I think. But yeah, you know, same deal. So yeah, honestly, they should have done that. Microsoft could have made Call of Duty exclusive to Xbox, and sure, put it on PC so we don't piss the flames. And then, you know, give Sony a reason to be like, you know, we should start resurrecting Killzone and other shooters. And then there you go. Oh, and Nintendo already has their own shooter if you think about it. Splatoon. Sure, it's not. Well, no, it's still a shooter nonetheless. You have your story and multiplayer. Although Splatoon really needs to increase their player count. 4v4 or that awkward Splatfest. What is it? 4 versus, or what is it? Like 3 teams, but one team has like more players than the others. Yeah, we need to bring back the console wars. And I know a lot of people don't want to, but because they don't want that excuse of, I don't want to buy a console just to play 1 or 2 games. I get that. And sure, I'm saying as somebody who...
Spartan, we need this
I'm
area
saying
locked
this
down.
as somebody who
Nobody
owned
gets
all
in
3
or
consoles.
Set start.
But exclusivity has its benefits. They push developers to make good exclusive games. And then, you know, their developers don't have to go through the headache of making multiple coding SKUs like back then with PS3, because PS3 had, you know, Blu-ray, right? Xbox and clearly the Wii didn't have Blu-ray. But you can easily imagine companies like Sega who had to make multiple multi-platform games. One that had to run on a different engine because of the different specs because of the PlayStation 3's Blu-ray. Xbox doesn't have it. They just had to do a simple HD resolution. And Wii, well, Wii was clearly low bar that forced Sega to make an exclusive Wii Sonic game, which was Sonic and the Secret Rings. I mean, yeah, at least Sega was considerate. They couldn't leave Nintendo fans hanging whilst, you know, PS3, Xbox fans got, well, Sonic 06. Oh, by the way, I did see a physical copy of Sonic 06. I was actually so close to considering buying it, but then I saw the tag used, and I thought, yeah, no, I'm good. I mean, yeah, I still have my PS3. It's still hooked up. I just can't stream it because my Elgato capture card can't even capture PS3. It's very old tech, which is unfortunate. You would think that HDMI, regardless, would still, you know, connect to the source, but doesn't. I know there is a way. I actually did some research on how to find whatever ways I could get my current Elgato to work, capture PS3, but nah. The tech, the hardware, the stuff that I need to make it all work. Too much money and so many HDMI splitters that makes me wonder if any of them will even work. So yeah, no. I don't wanna. I'm good. I even saw a couple of video tutorials on how people done it, and I'm seeing like wires everywhere, hanging, dangling, and I'm like, this is how Maximilian does home look like this too? Does every streamer who has like classic console games have wires hooked up like this? And the answer is yes. Absolutely. I actually have seen vintage video game stores that hook up like classic consoles like that. Wires everywhere. But of course, at least in a clean format. Otherwise you're just asking for a fire hazard to happen. So yeah, unfortunately I can't do that. I wish I could, but it is what it is. A shame too, because if I could, I would have like streamed Silent Hill 1.
Untouchable. Double kill.
And trust me, you would have enjoyed me being a chicken in both corners. You think PS1 games are not? PS1 horror games are not scary? Oh no, you haven't seen enough indie games that use low poly characters in horror games. People can still make low poly games look terrifying. And of course you have to back it up with sound. Sound, music, ambience. What the? Oh, suicide grunt. I'm surprised I even survived that. Oh, jeez.
Reinforcements.
Oh, you finally came up. Damn, that was a direct hit. Oh, that's a lot. Side strafe.
Sniper spree. Double kill. 5 enemies remaining. Killing spree. 2 enemies remaining. Last enemy. Lives added. Weapon drop.
Is anybody flying on that thing?
Round start.
Yeah, it's crazy. That means the Covenant never sent in anybody on those Banshees when they were flying. They're remote. Still doesn't mean they don't suffer any casualties. It's a waste of a Banshee.
Killing frenzy. Double kill. Double kill.
Hello, Marine. Don't let me down.
Double kill. Reinforcements. Riot. We're clear.
It's crazy how the plasma pistol in both Halo 1 and Reach was pretty overpowered. Oh, come on! He got sandwiched by the two elites. All it took was like one melee and he's gone already.
Double kill. Killing spree. Triple kill.
Oh, come on, as if you saw that.
Reinforcements. Killing frenzy. Double kill. Double kill. Sniper spree. Running riot.
Oh. I knew it. Oh, I hope Halo 1 keeps that. Except for that. I can assure you, people who would play the Halo 1 lasso, would most likely die from the constant amount of grenade chain reactions. Just when you think, especially when you're on narrow corridors, you might want to check your sanity afterwards.
Double kill.
Watch it.
Untouchable. Double kill.
Where'd your hat go?
Double kill. Double kill. Double kill. Reinforcements.
Who they sent this time?
Double kill.
Uh-oh.
Five enemies remaining.
Oh, piss off. I clip your wings.
Sharpshooter.
It's already scary enough that a sniper could take down a Banshee. But then Halo Infinite be like, you want to see a Scorpion get destroyed by a sniper rifle? Forget the rocket launcher. Getting hit by the sniper rifle while in a Scorpion is already more terrifying.
Lives added. Weapon drop. Black eye on. Round start. Double kill.
Doesn't make sense,
Double
but
kill.
sure, why not? Sniper beats tank. Wow, they already killed him. I'm assuming it's probably because of catch. Or Odie, Hell Jumper had no chance the moment he landed.
Double kill.
Excuse me. I think I mentioned it. Yeah, I did play the Star Fox demo. Okay, yeah, now saying it out loud, yeah, I did mention it. But I'm still setting my money on Dead or Alive. And they come out, both games come out on the same day. Convenient. But the thing is, despite, and I do like both games, Star Fox Remake is still Star Fox 64, just, you know, visually appealing. And with some, not just a coat of paint, but with some new add-ons, yeah.
Reinforcement triple kill.
But I think that I can win on that one. And yes, I would prefer to get the physical copy.
Invincible. Double kill.
So it was about time people just now started to realize the Kingdom Hearts collection that was originally on the Switch 1, you know how it was Cloud Edition? They've been scammed. They just realized, oh man,
Double kill.
I could have waited for a better Nintendo hardware to play Kingdom Hearts collection.
Yeah.
And while the Direct says you can transfer your save data, at least that there's that. But if you want to upgrade from cloud to the digital copy, you only get a 50% discount. Honestly, nah. This is why I knew. Like, I don't know what... I mean, I know some people actually, I heard they said they didn't regret buying the cloud version. Because, you know, at the time for Nintendo fans, that was like literally only way to play the entire Kingdom Hearts lineup, right? It's called desperation, that's for sure.
Reinforcement.
And you know, I can't blame them. They waited, what, decades to finally, for Nintendo fans to actually play a mainline Kingdom Hearts game that isn't Chain of Memories on the GBA or coded on the DS. Dream Drop Distance at least was a pretty good mainline game on the 3DS. But again, they were missing out on everything. And yeah, Xbox fans too. Even they had it worse, but at least by the time Kingdom Hearts 3 was on its way, at least they had access, they had ports from the HD collection to the all-in-one package, and yeah, Nintendo fans waited more longer than Xbox fans. But yeah, still in between, yeah, Xbox fans had nothing. No, not even not a single Kingdom Hearts title, not even the portables. Where are you? Thank you. Trust only your eyes. It is a funny double-edged sword with the camouflage ability. You're invisible, but your radar is scrambled.
Double kill. Double kill.
What was it? The hunter is still trying to beam me. What's worse than one hunter? Heavy grunts with fuel rod cannons. Crazy, isn't it? These little guys, their birth rate may be high, but they really know how to handle heavy weapons.
Reinforcements.
Oh shit, that was too far. Off you go. Whoops. Off coordinates. thought I heard something. The sad fate of a brute chieftain. They may have good durable shield, but what does that mean when your shield goes down? Your helmet could fly off at any moment. They should have had invincibility equipment.
2 enemies remaining.
The only thing that's scary though is when they start charging at you.
Last enemy.
If they knew where they were diving. Oh yeah, no. Catch!
Lives added. Skulls on. Iron on. Bonus round. Good luck. Triple kill. Double kill.
Back in the day, during the Covenant War, some alien races within the
Double
Covenant
kill.
had different reactions and opinions about UNSC weapons.
Triple kill.
The Sangheili looked at human weapons as primitive, something equivalent to caveman style. So they were disgusted and found it inferior. Jackals would actually try to buy UNSC weapons from weapon dealers. Grunts, they would take it. Anything to keep them alive.
Double kill.
And then brutes are like, oh, this is the shit, man. I love their explosives. They love their rockets, their shotguns, grenade launchers. So yes, the brutes love it. Which explains why you see in Halo Infinite, you have those brutes that have the bulldog. You have some of the boss formatted brutes that have like rocket launchers, and I think one of them had the Hydra. And of course, back in the old Covenant days, if anybody within the Covenant touched a human weapon, they would be considered as a heretic. Like, again, the Covenant is literally a cult. Even the name itself is all straight from the Bible. Bungie clearly looked at the Bible and thought this will be perfect for the alien race.
Killing spree.
And it was so.
Triple kill.
So yeah, heretics are covenants that have betrayed their oath. And if they so much as touch a human weapon, it is considered blasphemy.
Shotgun.
You are tainted by their evil
Triple kill.
dirtiness, and you shall never join the great journey. But then Prophet of Truth thought, hey, you know, if you want to redeem yourself, you go out in the battlefield with those human weapons you touch, and if you survive, then okay, maybe we'll bring you back. But if you die, you die. Not our problem. You were a heretic anyways. Just like how how Thel, aka the Arbiter, was labeled as a heretic. They didn't give a shit about him. They just gave him a second chance as the Arbiter, but whether he lives or dies, that's not their problem. The Council will have their course. Although you have to wonder how they every Arbiter that came before Thel how did they manage to retrieve the armor? Because if you actually look back on Halo Wars' cutscene, how that game's Arbiter died, they literally threw him off a cliff. How the Covenant managed to retrieve that is
Double
beyond
kill.
me. They didn't. There was no way they could make a new one. Because remember what the shipmaster said? Your armor system is not as new as ours. Heavily implying that that's the same armor that they found in the bottomless pit of the Forerunner locale in Halo Wars. So I don't know, maybe somehow, some way they managed to, Prophet of Regret managed to find it. Oh yeah, and that Arbiter, I think his name was Reaper. Reaper something. Oh shit.
Double kill. Reinforcements.
Go get your turn.
Rampage.
Oh shit, right. Dang it.
Double kill.
Give me your weapon. The repeater was definitely a funny gun that they included in Reach. It's basically the plasma rifle, but it shoots fast, and it's the only gun back then before 343 and would later push it forward. The only gun where you can vent it. It's crazy. Don't run. It's just ham. Okay, fine. Keep running back. Wait, that grunt only dropped one grenade? I could have sworn he dropped a second, two. Grenade! Keep bleeding for me.
Killing spree.
Though I doubt anybody would ever use the repeater in multiplayer, because honestly, it's kind of a shit gun. You would definitely pick this over the plasma rifle over this, but you would only use it when you eventually get bored of the plasma rifle.
Reinforcements. Double kill.
Plus, it really doesn't take down shields that quickly, unless you are at point blank. Maybe. Less time angry, more shooting, sir. Watch out! He's got a bomb!
Killing frenzy. Triple kill. Double kill.
You were just standing there watching your brother Jackal get killed.
Running riot.
Watch it.
Double kill. Shotgun spree.
Watch out!
Triple kill. Reinforcements.
It's funny when you think how Killzone, the ISA, you think of them as the main heroes. Nah, man.
Rampage.
They just were pretending they were just playing victim. They were the ones since the first Killzone. They were the invaders. Oh wow. The base that they took over belonged to the Helgas. The ISA were the ones who invaded and took it away from them. And to make matters worse, you have to remember what they did at the end of Killzone 3. They made Helgon, their own home planet, uninhabitable. Even the opening of the fourth game, Shadowfall, pretty much explained the aftermath, what the ISA were forced to do. The Helgas had to live among the humans. They had to welcome them in their own neighborhood.
Season. Lives added. Weapon draw.
Not on Earth, but on another planet that belongs to the ISA, or whatever faction they were called in the fourth game. And of course, I still remember how how Shadowfall ended. Your main character dies, and the person you trusted, who was kind of like a father figure, your mentor, betrays you. Well, turns out it was not betrayal, but he just failed to understand something. Actually, I forgot what the main plot. What was the main plot of that? Like there was some kind of misunderstanding between both sides, and that no, the Helgas were not that evil. Yes, their methods were strict and, well, deadly. But at least at the end, war. That they sparked another war, which unfortunately we will never see happen, since Guerrilla decided to end right there and be like, okay, let's make a game about a woman who shoots animals, except the animals are robots.
Reinforcements. Double
Would you
kill.
like to have my gun?
Yeah, I'm trained on that.
The more the merrier. Kabam!
Behind you! Whoa!
I'm melting.
Do you not know how to use that gun? What the fudge? I had my reticule. I was nowhere near him. Rest in peace, Marine. Hell jumper.
Killing spree. Shotgun spree. Double kill. Reinforcements.
Oh, now they drop a fuel rod cannon. I would have given that to the hell jumper. And I punched him too hard. By accident.
Triple kill. Killing frenzy. Double kill.
Sir Brute, did you not see the wild grunt that was about to SD himself? See, this is exactly why the Brutes were not in Halo 1. They were too stupid. And Thel didn't want to invite them over. He left them behind
Double
reach.
kill.
But I follow with all the ships in my command, except for the Brutes. Why was it not destroyed with the rest of their fleet? Although that's a theory, why the Brutes were not in the first Halo. Although yes, realistically it's because Halo 1 was Halo 1, Brutes were not invented until Halo 2. But if we just want to pretend after Halo Reach, they were probably considered, well, not reliable at the time.
Double kill.
And you have to remember, these are different kinds of Brutes. You have different tribes of them, if I recall. You have the tribal ones, I guess these would be considered the tribal ones, which are more or less equivalent to the ones you see in Halo 2. Very furry, less
Double
armor,
kill.
very Wookiee-like. But then in Halo 3, the Brutes in that game seem to differ a lot compared to what they used to be in
Double
2.
kill.
Because they have armor, plasma, energy shield, and more Brute Chieftains when you look at it. More Brute Chieftains, whereas Tartarus at the time was like the only Brute Chieftain.
Double kill. Untouchable.
In fact, there's a theory saying that Prophet of Truth knew that Tartarus was going to fail. He literally sent Tartarus to his death, knowing that even if he had a chance to activate Delta Halo, nah, he sent him to die. Why else would Truth still continue to fly to Earth to go to the Ark? Because he knew Tartarus was gonna fail. He left those brutes to die, but then, what's the word?
Reinforcements.
What's that word I'm thinking? Oh yeah, gaslighted the newer brutes. I'll call them the technological brutes, and replace them over the tribal ones. Because at least the technical ones had armor and energy shields. Oh, it's getting wild. Here's a present for you. Whoa. That was a confusing toss. He was like facing this way, but his grenade threw the other way. I think that's like the only good thing about the concussion rifle. It's only good against unarmored enemies. And if you want to cause, well, that. It was a really funny choice that they brought it back for Halo 4. Because I am pretty sure not that many people use the concussion rifle.
Lives added. Weapon drop.
And then they replaced the plasma rifle with the storm rifle, I think it was called. But according to the description of the gun, they said the storm rifle is a successor to the plasma rifle. That long gun, successor to this. I mean, it worked. I didn't mind it. But why would you change perfection? This little thing is a rifle. This thing has been a mainline staple to the Halo series throughout the whole Bungie days. And for Christ's sakes, remember that Halo 2, they got rid of the assault rifle in favor of the SMG? And that's literally, the assault rifle was literally Master Chief's iconic weapon, but they got rid of it. But did they get rid of the plasma rifle? No, they didn't. You know why? Because it's the second most iconic gun in Halo, but 343 be like, we hate the plasma rifle, so we're gonna ruin your childhood memory by giving you the storm rifle. But I will say, it's not an improvement, but I don't mind the change because at least it still functions more or less like the plasma rifle. But having to change it entirely, yeah, no thank you. And then Halo 5, I think they still kept it, right? It's still the storm rifle. I didn't play enough Halo 5. Actually, no, wait, I did play a good amount of hours. And then, yeah, no, it was there. And then Halo Infinite had to ruin it all, giving you the pulse carbine. A burst, 5 shot rifle.
Reinforcements.
And yeah, sure, when you have a lock-on on an enemy, when your reticule's red, the projectile homes in on the target. They did provide a buff where the projectiles would fly faster. It does take down shields very fast if you manage to get all 5 shots, but it's still a burst rifle. And Halo Infinite had, let's see, the battle rifle, the pulse carbine, The Ravager. What else was there? That was burst. Oh, the alternate version of the plasma pistol. I forgot what it was called. That one's actually a burst as well.
Invincible.
Isn't that already way too many burst rifles? What happened? How did I get blown up? Anyways, yeah, at least they're bringing it back. Thank goodness. I doubt they're gonna bring back dual wielding. Because you know when you think about it, when you kind of think about it, dual wielding in Halo 2 and 3 was kind of like, I wouldn't say OP, unless you're new tubing with plasma pistol and magnum, that combination. Heck, a two-handed weapon is still stronger than a dual wielding. Like, you know, the sniper rifle. Have you seen what Halo 3 and Halo 2 players, what kind of stunts they can do with the the sniper rifle? Like, we're talking like people who played Halo Classic for thousands of hours. They can like land headshots like it's nothing. No scope as well. I murdered your friend and you're next. Did Stellar Blade Blood Rain have negative criticism upon its reveal? Yes, of course. Except they are the stupidest kind of the complaints. One of which that's been a hot topic is how they were saying, oh, the main character Evie, she looks like a baby. She looks like a 10-year-old. And then it turns out, oh yeah, did you forget that Shift Up, they actually do body scan and face scans on of the actual actresses. Yeah, in case you need a reminder, the first Stellar Blade, the main character Eve, her body was the design on her body wasn't made from 3D designers. It was a body scan. Anyways, yeah, and then the funniest part, those people who said that the main character Evie's face looked like a baby, they finally found out and realized, wait, what? Asians can look like that at the age of 20 or so? Where have those people been? Like, Asians have existed for many centuries. Of course, some Asian. Hey, it doesn't apply to all Asians. I've seen some Asians in their 20s and 30s that don't look great. And then, yes, there are some in their 20s that look like they don't even look like they're in their 20s. They look like they're 18 or something. So yeah, flash news, Asians have that weird, funny biology. And yeah, those haters, again, they just realized that. Well, those are definitely people who probably have never traveled to Asia or have not watched enough K-dramas. Or, I don't know, I don't want to say K... Oh, Jesus. I forgot it. I had the thing. Oh, thanks. Would anybody be crazy to say that that is unfair genetics? Well, the only person you can blame is God, because God made humans like that, of of various kinds of genetics. So yes, Asians, even in their 20s and 30s, can still look young. In fact, hey, oh jeez, hey, I get complimented by some folks and people thought I was 25, but I'm not. I'm 34. Maybe if I didn't shave, my age would show. I would call it compliments.
Killing spree.
Actually, you know what? I might as well call it compliments. I'm not like those people who would be too offended. Unless otherwise, depending on the atmosphere, I guess, or scenario. But nah, I'll take that as a compliment. Thank you for calling me young, even though I'm actually 34. Catch! I said catch. Okay! Who did that? There was nothing I could do there. I think there was too many plasma grenades on the floor.
Five enemies remaining.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. I didn't mention that one of the new skulls in Halo Campaign Evolved, there's a skull where it's just the classic, the floor is lava. So imagine going through Lasso, which is an option, going through Lasso with that skull on. You would have to, I bet you right now people are replaying Halo 1 trying to figure out which platforms to climb on. And then, you know, there's also Black Eye, so make sure you melee some enemies if you want to regain your shield. Oh, and God forbid, imagine that level, the library. The library does not have that many platforms to climb on. Well, good luck to you, I sigh. Because, Flora's lava skull is going to be a pain in the arse.
Overkill. Double kill. Triple kill. Double kill.
Oh shit.
Running riot.
Oops. I also noticed that they ditched the health pack, so they're using the Halo Infinite's health system. Come back! I wish to refill my... Oh, he's dead.
Bonus round over.
Good work, Spartan.
Yeah!
Over.
Job done. Untrusted. It's my set. I made that file. What do you mean untrusted? Excuse me.
Firefight.
You know, besides Star Wars Galactic, no, Commando Republic, they should make more
Set.
Star
Start.
Wars 4-player
Tough
co-op
luck
kind of
on.
like squad-based game, or perhaps remake Republic Commando, and then if it's successful, make it a continuous series. We got our Star Wars racing game. We got a tactical turn-based Star Wars game. We have an RPG style MMO RPG. So how about one that's a first-person shooter with squads?
Triple kill.
And no, when I say RPG, I mean like Souls game, Souls-like RPG. We don't talk about Outlaws because Outlaws is doo-doo.
Triple kill.
It's so doo-doo that even I heard that they're trying to not make it, they're actually trying to pretend it doesn't exist. Hell, even Disney is trying to convince people that, you know, they want you to forget about the sequel trilogy and that it's not canon. At least, that's what I heard from the grapevine.
Reinforcement.
And if that's true, that's
Triple
funny.
kill.
Because that means Disney realized they effed up Star Wars pretty badly. And that, you know, everything that came out before, except for Rogue One. Rogue One was the only good modern Star Wars show, movie, and Andor. Mandalorian was great, but then somehow the later seasons and the movie flopped. Well, at least according to a bunch of analysis. But yeah, Disney is now slowly trying to realize, oh yeah, they effed up badly and the classics should be respected more. Oh, you think? Hell, even Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order pays respects to the classics.
Kill. Right. Reinforcement. Triple kill.
Anybody got a plasma rifle? No? I'll take the pistol then. I know Halo 5 they brought back the SMG. But see, the only reason the SMG ever existed was because you could dual wield it in Halo 2 and 3. ODST gave it another sole purpose, being the main, you know, weapon for for hell jumpers. So bringing in Halo 5 is respectful, but it serves no purpose when you have the assault rifle. If anything, the SMG in Halo 5 should have been silenced like this
Triple
one.
kill.
Or yeah, just be able to be the only gun to dual wield it.
Double kill.
Or you know what? Considering that Buck was in the Team Osiris,
Reinforcements.
they really should have made the SMG have the silencer. Be it the ODST's the ODST version of the SMG. They should have done that. Because otherwise, yeah, it's just an SMG, and that's it. It has like no impact, other than respect. Just a nice callback to the classics. And such a shame too. I do like the SMG. Well, especially when it's the ODST version. Halo Infinite brought back the SMG, but it was practically not even an SMG.
Untouchable.
It doesn't even
Triple
look like
kill.
an SMG. It didn't even feel like one either. Alright. The heck? I already died once. Watch out! Oh shit! Oh, the bubble shield. Why would you do that, Grunt? Watch your step. Those are stairs.
Double kill.
What's funny is that the SMG is more stronger than the assault rifle in this game. For good reasons, because this is Halo ODST. But shouldn't it be at least equal? Whatever. This thing has a silencer, which is pointless, because you know, the moment you start shooting, everybody will know where you are. And it has a scope. But I guess it's the thought that it counts. Plus, it kind of gives you an idea that, you know, hell jumpers are like special ops. And I like that. I'm blind.
Triple kill.
I wonder if that ever actually works against brutes. I mean, like, in multiplayer, yes, that's... Obviously, it would blind the player. But doesn't that apply to enemies? That pack will feast on you.
2 enemies
You don't want me. My meat is not good. Ow! Come on. Put some emotion on it. You're getting riddled by a million bullets and that's your response? Ow! Mavica good or not? I don't need any gameplay or any gameplay to explain. Well, if you don't have, actually no, Nicole or not. No,
Tough luck
she's pretty
and catch
decent.
On.
Similar, put it this way, she's similar to like Raiden Shogun, where you can put her on the field or have her off field, her skill works in both cases. So like once you activate her skill, you can just switch to another character. But unlike Raiden Shogun, Mavika's skill activates every like few seconds, not based on like attack intervals. So basically she like shoots down pyro pyro shots, but it's the kind of good pyro where if you're on a grass field, the grasses don't like light up, so which is a good thing, because I know you probably have been to a lot of grassy places and pretty much all your pyro characters always lights it up and you always end up burning yourself. Mavika, for some reason, her pyro does not do that, so that's just like a nice little add-on. Her burst is pretty good, but just make sure that you give her enough defense or some kind of like shield, because she'll go crazy riding on her motorcycle. Basically, she'll be on the forefront as you're controlling her, and yes, you can even activate her skill while she's riding on her bike with her burst, and basically that means you're having Mavika attack herself and her skill every few seconds. But something worth noting regarding that, what was it? Something about her burst. Oh no, her meter. So because she's a character from Natlan, and just like with every Natlan character, they have like that dedicated meter where as soon as they activate their skill or their burst, their ability lasts until that meter expires. Unlike most, if not all, Natlan characters, Mavika's meter fills up 100%. But there's something else important about that. So you don't have to worry about that, like refilling that meter, unlike most Natlan characters. Oh yeah, so when you activate her burst, her meter is active, but it starts at like 0%. So you can, as soon as you activate her skill, then her meter is filled, but it stays filled 100% until the burst time expires.
Double kill.
Or you know what? I think it's better to explain, but not today. Or better yet, you can look up like guide videos. They'll tell you better explanation. So the gist of it is she's a must pull. And I'm not saying that as if you're the kind of person I'm not saying this as a person who's collecting waifus and archons and such. Like literally gameplay wise, she's actually pretty good. Like if you have Raiden Shogun, then, or I've seen her gameplay, then yeah, you're gonna like how she plays.
Reinforcement.
How is the new character? Which one, Nicole or the new guy that's in Phase 2? Because yeah, Phase 2 banner is now live. If you're talking about the new character right now that's in Phase 2, yeah, he's pretty good. At least based on the trial that I tried out. He's a cryo heavy damage dealer guy. But he does require somebody with I think he does require somebody with pyro. So you need like a melt reaction next to him, because he has a meter of his own that needs to be filled up. I'm not exactly sure what the details are regarding that, but the trial will pretty much explain that more thoroughly. Like, in fact, during the trial, they paired the new guy with Durin because Durin is pyro, and the new character is a cryo. In fact, actually, the new guy, that meter that I mentioned, his unique meter, is more efficient to go with his burst. That's like something, at least I think, that's like one of his major functions. You know, like how to use him properly. But generally speaking, yeah, he's a cryo heavy hitter. As when he activates his skill, his weapon is imbued with cryo. So think of it like any other character that does that, like Hu Tao or who else does it? Yoimiya does that with her bow. Kaching does that with her electro ability. I didn't do that. So yeah, he's that kind of character. The kind of character you will want in your team if you are lacking any cryo damage dealer. Wow, this is exactly why the Covenant lost. You see all these brutes chucking grenades at each other? Anyways, so yeah. I would consider him a must pull as well if you're lacking any cryo damage dealer. I wouldn't say there's anything unique, special about him. I mean, I could even say the same about Nicole. Nicole only gives you a shield. She's not even like a heavy hitter like you want to use her in the front field. But she does have an ability where she does have some kind of enhancement when she is on the front, but no, she's just a character that provides damage buffs to the team and a shield. And the shield is scaled based off of her attack, which means you do not prioritize crit rates or crit damage, just attack ratio. And when you have a character that does that, any character where, especially when the data shows that you do not you only have to upgrade their attacks or defense, then yeah, they're the kind of characters that you don't bring out on the field. They're just there for support. They are a support class. So that means you don't need to worry about getting crit rate, crit damage, or looking for that one artifact for the pyro bonus damage, electro bonus. You know, that one artifact. I think it's the chalice one, the chalice piece where you have to get the specific element damage, which is a pain in the ass to find. At least when it's a healer, at least they're more or less easy to level up, because you know when it comes to artifacts, you just attach them with a set and make sure that the main stat is, you know, just HP. But easier said than done, I told myself, because as soon as I start trying to build a healer character, I end up getting artifacts that give me the opposite. I hate it. I hate the RNG when it does that. I'm trying to grind for the artifacts that I'm looking for, but then when the artifact hunting is done, then it's like, oh, now the artifacts are coming to me when I don't need them. But whatever, I'll just lock them, safe keep them until the character comes out. You know, just for safekeeping. Still, doesn't make it any more annoying every time that happens. So here's a word of advice. If there is an artifact, sorry, before I say that, before I say anything further,
Tough luck, Catch and Black Eye on.
what was it?
Round start.
Since you only need 2 or 4 pieces to make to get the 4-piece bonus set, that 5th one could be whatever you like, which is convenient, right? Usually you would save that for the best. Equip the character with the 5th artifact. That is whatever you save kept. Let me rephrase that. Sorry, that was terrible. For the 5th piece, always equip it with your best artifact. But I'm sure you probably figured that out.
Double kill.
And then, yeah, as for the advice, regarding that 5th piece, if you have any artifacts that you're grinding for, always lock the elemental ones, because again, those are more or less hard to obtain. But only lock them, safe keep them. What was it? If they have the best substats, like crit rate, crit rate, crit damage.
Double kill.
Also, but you also have to hope for the best that once you level up that artifact, the crit rate or damage or both levels up, because that's more or less out of your control. Like you've seen it all the time. You level up an artifact, and then one of the 4 substats gets upgraded, and you're hoping that it's crit rate, crit damage, or whichever stat is highlighted for that particular character. But at least if the substats that levels up doesn't meet your expectation, you can change it with the reshaping thing, reshape function. You use that feather dust of entitlement or something like that. Or is it enlightenment? No, I think it's enlightenment. What the fudge was that? Wow. You guys are the best brutes in the world. Among the Covenant ranks. The best. So yeah. Make sure. So yeah, if you see with the chalice artifacts, make sure you lock the ones that have elemental bonus damage. I mean, whether it's doesn't matter. Electro, hydro, dendro, pyro damage bonus. Lock those. If the substats are good. Well, even if they're not, it's best to safe keep them so you can use those artifacts to level up the artifacts you need to level up. You want to level up. Because yeah, don't forget the artifacts themselves are also used to level up artifacts. Yeah, it's like how you level up weapons with weapons. Unused ones you're not going to use. Jump! Ow. That was perfect timing there. My grenades! shit! I walked into that.
Reinforcements. 5 lives left.
Oh god, I did it again. Okay, well, technically he dropped on that one. Really? No plasma? Uh-oh. Buggers.
Killing spree. Double kill. Double kill. Double kill. Double kill.
Where is it? I saw it. Oh, here it is.
Reinforcements. Killing frenzy.
Oh shoot, right.
Double
Goodbye.
Double kill.
Ah! He has invincibility.
5
And now
enemies
he's not
remaining.
invincible. He's just barbecue. Yeah, I had a feeling he threw it right at the window.
Lives added. All skulls on. Iron on. Bonus round. Good luck. Running riot. Double kill. Triple kill. Triple kill. Kill atrocity.
Oh my god! Stop!
Bonus round over.
There's already too much at stake.
Bonus lives. Weapon drop.
Well, at the very least, grunts can reproduce fast. I wonder if Sandrone is the
Set,
only new
start,
character in the next
on.
update for Genshin. Because, yeah, she was the only character that they revealed in the drip market. When will Alice be playable? It's long overdue. We already got Nicole. That's already one step. Ugh. Come on. Klee's mother was always like faceless. Except unless you were looking at the TCG, you kind of got a glimpse of her silhouette. Excuse me, and you kind of like, yeah, obviously knew what kind of hat she was wearing. And she dressed in red because of Klee. But yeah, it's long overdue. Oh, okay. Are you guys raptors or kangaroos? Oh yeah, pretty obvious Alice will be a pyro character. And people thought Nicole was gonna be hydro or something. Nah, she pyro too. We're gonna have more pyros than you can imagine at this point. But don't worry, at least season 3, sorry, wrong game. At least Genshin 7.0 will be cryo region. And not only that, our traveler will be able to wield a gun. A cryo gun?
Here he is.
Double kill.
There.
You're mine.
Oh, you're mine. Kaboom indeed. Uh-oh.
Overkill. Overkill.
I know, I saw a bugger over there. Honestly, I'm glad the drones didn't come back in Halo Infinite. These things are annoying in such large numbers.
Invincible. Kilimanjaro.
But I wouldn't say they were the skimmers were the better replacement.
Reinforcements.
Nah, skimmers are just as annoying as these guys, but between the two, I say drones outclass the skimmers. sure, skimmers can shoot, can arm themselves with a rocket launcher, and they actually, with the assault rifle, commando rifle, they know how to land headshots, but nah. They have like two weaknesses, head and wings. Drones, try to go for the head. I just realized that one of the skulls is on a thing that bullets deflect energy shields now. All the reason to have a plasma.
Someone put it to sleep. Oh, right here. Bring you down.
Come on, don't be shy.
Double kill. Double kill.
Boom.
Reinforcements.
Oh, sorry. I missed the beam rifle. I don't mind the stalker, but man, that thing overheats. Actually, the mindset of how the stalker overheats fast is equivalent to how the beam rifle overheats. Still, beam rifle is better than stalker. Don't take my word for it. Have you ever played Halo 2 Legendary? Them jackals will show you who's the sharpest shooter of them all.
Double kill. Five enemies remaining.
Here's one.
Kill pocket. Two enemies remaining. Double kill. Last enemy.
What, no chieftain this time? Nice mohawk.
Weapon prop.
This thing has recoil? Huh.
Tilt on. Round start.
Oh yeah, I did hear that the Amazing Digital Circus has collaborated with Fortnite. So you got Pommy and Jax, and then one of the characters turned into an axe.
Double kill.
Glitch even made an animated short dedicated to that.
Overkill.
And yes, like anything, like any new thing, Some folks were not happy about it. Obviously, the only people who were not thrilled about it were just so-called fans of The Amazing Circus, because the character Pommy in question. So if you've seen the trailer, yeah, Kane, the AI ringmaster, stretch Pommy because all the characters in Fortnite are tall, right? And Pommy is not qualified. But Kane, all he did was stretch her body, so that way she can be part of the game. And that was the context. And yet, despite the context, although most of the negatives were coming from people who didn't see the reveal trailer, they were like, "Oh God, Fortnite made her too sexy. She got them hips and legs. I don't like it. She's too sexy." What, or like, why was she given long legs? And even for those people who did see the trailer, yeah, they were still not a fan of her stretched design just to be part of Fortnite.
Double kill.
It's another case of, wow, just another case of people being people on the internet. And now, of course, there are people who are, sane enough, who would tell you, who are fine with this, like, no issues whatsoever. They're saying, well, it's inevitable, it's Fortnite. Of course, Fortnite was gonna, Amazing Circus was gonna eventually be part of Fortnite. Practically at this point, really, anything could be in Fortnite. So, just deal with it. Just accept it. As much as how Marvel vs. Capcom became a thing in Fortnite before we even got an official Marvel vs. Capcom. Aside of the Arcade Classic Collection that we got, which is a miracle. Yeah, the Amazing Circus is amazing. And it's crazy to think that the last episode would be aired in theaters. And yes, it kicked off really good. Despite people, doubters, and, haters saying like, oh, it probably won't do well in theaters. Oh, I hope it doesn't do well. Yeah, well, guess what? It did well anyways. Lots of people lined up to watch, came to see the final episode. And yeah, the final episode, yeah, you can, at some point it's going to be available on YouTube for free, from what I recall. The only reason why it was released in theaters is just so that it was supposed to be just, an early screening. That's it. So, if you didn't want to wait to see it on YouTube, you can just... Triple kill. You can show your support to... You can show your support to the makers by going to the theaters, buy the movie ticket, and then there you go. The money goes to both the theater and Glitch Productions. It's a win-win. Movie theaters can continue to run their business by showing you good movies. They make money. Glitch Productions, yeah, they do a stunt where they get to do early screenings, and yeah, there you go. Don't play. Didn't your mama teach you not to play with fire? And oh boy, it's sad how some folks on the internet are way too sensitive, including the creator of Amazing Digital Circus. The guy got pushed too much to the point where he was even considering quitting before even finishing up the final episode. All because they thought they'd done a character dirty. That's it. Like, okay, on both ends, on both sides, I would say, to the haters, you should expect something like that to happen. Like, for Christ's sake, look at the anime industry. I can tell you, some people wish that certain characters in Dragon Ball could have a better better character development, but somehow, some way, the creators just managed to ruin your favorite character. And what do? You go on the internet and yell. Even to the point of finding the creator's Twitter page and spam a bunch of hate messages. And for what? Because they ruined your favorite character of the show? Oh, he balled. And then as for the creator, or I should say any creator, you should really stay away from Twitter or practically anywhere on the internet. Unless you have a sane mentality, you know, where you're not heavily impacted by negative criticism too much, at least when they're relevant criticisms. Because if it's just straight up hate messages, you ignore those ones. Those are people who clearly don't know the context of whatever it is they're hating on. Oh, is this guy okay? Why is he bunny hopping? So yeah, to every creator, yeah, don't let the hate messages, at least if they're relevant, again, if they're relevant hate messages. Like if somebody is talking negative about your show, like they know what they're talking about, yeah, don't let that stop you from believing in your dreams. You got this far. And you actually have an audience that is actually willing to see through to the end. They want to see it how it ends.
Tilt on.
You keep going.
Round start.
Because yes, it's a common thing, a common practice, if I should say, where stuff like that will happen. Like, you make a show, you make a bunch of great characters, some characters that fans will be in favor of this one, character A or character B or C, whatever. But always expect that whatever choice you make, however you develop the character, there's definitely going to be somebody who's not going to be happy about it. Or some people will be annoyed of the character's existence on day one. Like, you know, think of it like Sonic X. Chris Thorndike, or is that his name? His last name. Like, yes, you could imagine some people actually like his character, how his inclusion was just there to, you know, get Sonic to interact with more humans than he does in the games.
Overkill.
But of course, yeah, eventually some people will think that he shouldn't even be there. Like that, in that, oh, geez. Like how they started that Sonic Adventure 2, or even Sonic Adventure 1 arc in Sonic X. Like, was Chris's inclusion ruined the experience? Well, depending on who you ask. Again, there are Chris Thorndike fans and some that are not. But it's included. Take it or leave it. And yeah, if you really don't want to watch the rest, hey, you can just go back and play the Sonic games. That doesn't have Chris in it. But yeah, it was by the creator's intention to include characters like Chris in there. For what purpose? I don't know, ask him if you ever reach out to him. I don't have the answers. I'm not the creator. I'm not there. I wasn't there when Sonic X was in production. Love it or hate it, That's to be expected.
Double kill.
Same thing with video games too.
Reinforcements.
I mean, who was that character that somehow got into the remake? The character from Dirge of Cerberus, Gak or something. Somehow he made it into Final Fantasy VII Remake as like some optional boss or something like that. And if I recall, Maximilian Dude was not a fan of that, but he did enjoy the fight. It's just that he didn't like the character's inclusion, making it so that Dirge of Cerberus, you know, isn't retconned. That being said, I wouldn't be surprised if Square Enix, for whatever reason, decide to remake that game, just because now Vincent is in the game. I mean, he was always going to be in the remake anyways, so tough shit. Nothing you can do about it. The way how the ODST throws a grenade is really funny. It just throws it in such a funny arc. Let it be known that a little tiny man, known as a Hell Jumper, managed to take down a giant brute. You don't need to be a Spartan to do it.
Triple kill.
Anyways, yeah, it's good to see that Glitch Production is still pumping out some good shit. Like, I know they started a pilots show. You son of a... They just started a new pilot, Game Over verse. I think that's how you pronounce it. They even got the Banjo-Kazooie composer Grant Kirkhope to compose the music for the show. And already it made so much attraction. Come on out. Bugs!
Double kill.
What's up? Oh, you little bugger.
Reinforcements.
Time to take out the big guns. What time is it now? Oh, 10. Okay. And this should be a good wrap up since I'm on the last wave. On the last set. Nice grenade toss, dumbass. Oh shit, right. Oh shit, right. Ah! I missed a shot! It went right under his armpit. I need your plasma. Give me your plasma.
Just this.
Did you just throw that at your chieftain?
5 enemies remain. Two enemies remaining.
Catch!
Take this.
Wow, these brutes have amazing grenade tossing. That one brute just chucked the spike grenade at the back of his friend's head. And you ever wonder why the Covenant lost so badly?
All skulls on.
Well, the
Iron
scrim
on.
happened,
Bonus
aka
round.
the Covenant
Good
Civil
luck.
War. But then again, that was on the Prophet. He made that happen.
Overkill.
Just a shame, though, that not that many grunts decided to side with the Sanghedis. They were dragged into joining the Covenant to the bitter end. Oh shit. Whoa! I got stuck.
Bonus
I
round.
mean, like, not stuck by the grenade, but stuck in a corner.
Game over.
Oh well. It's over. When I'm not playing the campaign, at least there's firefight. Still a good time. All right. Let's see. Is there anything, any shout outs to make? Oh no, somebody made a recreation of Homelander's death in Lego form. You can't do this. Apparently the actors, despite going through with the season finale, they did not like the ending. Which, yeah, makes sense, understandable. Yeah, when I saw the ending, I said, yeah, they should have just gone with the comic ending. But then again, if they did that, that would have just made the ending, you know, predictable and already said and done. So it's kind of like you have a choice: create an alternative ending or recreate it in a live action adaptation. And I can imagine usually in that kind of scenario, directors, producers would have like a dilemma. Like, should we go with an ending that already exists, that people already know? Like, so should we recreate that? Or should we create an alternative ending of that with different characters, different scenario? If you ask me, I mean, I would go with the latter. But, you know, at least if it was done properly. Like, if it was done well, you know, and, you know, nothing was forced. But at the same time, I don't mind if, you know, if a live action or a cartoon or even a video game, you know, recreates that ending from the original source. Especially if it was a video game, because at least in a video game you can, you know, interact with it. You're like you the player are part of that story. You get to live it. You get to reenact it. Whereas watching a movie or a cartoon or a comic or whatever, you're just reading or watching. But, you know, at least you're seeing it happen in motion. Well, except for comics, they're not motion. Unless it's a motion comic on the internet. But yeah, you get the idea. Like, yeah, it's still a tough choice. You also have to kind of like picture being in the shoes of a director and think, you know, what would the audience prefer? Recreation of an existing ending, or create an original ending? Alternative, whatever. Bungie community manager shames ignorant Destiny players for not what, the title's too long. For not I can't hold on. When I try to flip my phone horizontally to see the whole title, it doesn't show. Bungie community manager shames ignorant Destiny players for not saving Marathon. Ha ha ha. Maybe you should have just made Destiny 3 instead of Marathon. Because apparently that's the hashtag going about. Yeah, well, I can't have a say in any of that because I haven't played Marathon. But I have played Destiny 2, and yes, it is still fun. It's great. Damn, Gears of War E-Day is currently at $400 million of development. So is that the argument? That's the complaint? People are just worried that if a game has like over 100 million budget, they're worried that, you know, would the money of budget be justified to the quality of the game? I feel like we've already done this song and dance, haven't we? And rightfully so, considering that indie games barely even costs a fraction of that amount. Not even close to it, not even 1/4. And yet, they somehow managed to outsell even the big AAA games. From Silk Song, Shovel Knight, to what's that one? Vampire Survivors. Really makes you wonder, really, where does all that 100 million go to? Graphics? Engine? Sound design? Well, unless you're a game developer, you would tell me, but without being subtle. Nobody wants to be subtle. But, these days, if you ever ask a game developer, they would formally explain it to you. They wouldn't explain it to you like a common person. They would explain it in a business perspective, using big words and trying to sound smart, rather than trying to humanize you and, be straight with you. I mean, just look at Ubisoft. They don't even bother telling their shareholders and their investors what happened to Assassin's Creed Shadows, what happened to all that money that they burned, why did games like Star Wars Outlaws sold poorly. And then, it's always excuses after excuses. Ratatouille voiced the character in Among Us? Oh, okay. Even that guy who dressed as a chicken in Toy Story 2. Okay, I thought Elijah Wood was one thing, but I didn't know the other actors and voice actresses were part of the Among Us show. I've heard that some people were pretty mid on the Among Us animated show, saying the show should have happened years ago when the game was thriving. But to be fair, you have to remember, the game, when it came out, not that many people were playing it, but they discovered it when we were all in lockdown. And then from that point, that's when the developers thought, I think it came out 2018, right? And then it gained its popularity in 2020. That's when the creators decided to go all out with it, step by step. Oh yeah, and of course, and an indie game like that still manages to outshine Call of Duty. And meanwhile, the Activision, Infinity Ward are like, what the fudge? What? How? But I thought people love shooters. We have a multiplayer game. How are we being outsold by the Wolf, a game that's based on the Wolf game? Yeah, don't forget, people. Among Us is not an original game. It's practically based off of the classic board game, the Ultimate Wolf Challenge or something like that. Or I'm pretty sure there's a game that is also based off of that. Either way, though, yeah. Well, it's just like Hollywood too. Hollywood is even suffering. They're scratching their heads being like, Backrooms outsold Mandalorian? What? But we spent billions. Huh? Oh yeah, when I searched up how much the Backrooms made, they spent almost 10 million in budget to make the film. And how much did they made in the box office? Well, approximately 150 million in the marketing or domestic, and then 80 was domestic. I don't know which one, but I guess in total almost 200 million. Think about that. They spent 10 million. They made over 200 million. And then last I checked, the Snow White live action was like 200 million to make. It didn't make any money back. Disney be coping so hard. Anything? Anything else? Excuse me. Oh yeah, I heard about the Pal World Pokemon lawsuit thing, and yep, Nintendo Pal World is still winning, and Nintendo, yeah, they're at a loss. And the fact that the game Pal World is still launching its 1.0 next month, yeah, really, Nintendo just wasted millions upon millions over a lawsuit that they should never have filed to begin with. I mean, for crying out loud, they're not the ones who created the whole capture monster and use monster for combat idea. In fact, there was a game before that. It was called Dragon Quest Monsters on the Game Boy. And then, years later, Pokemon would eventually be released on the Game Boy. Oh no, controller stopped. Anything else? Oh yeah, next week. Next week is, I mean, this coming week, I should say. So we have the ZZZ Season 3 update. I just barely finished all of the events that I could do for the sake of grabbing as many polychromes before they expired. What else? This week we have that, and I think that's like the only highlight in this coming week. And then the week after that is Dead or Alive 6 Last Rounds release, along with Star Fox. But still to this day, as I speak, Team Ninja has said nothing new regarding Dead or Alive 6. So they literally have just almost a week and a half to market the game one way or another, because right now, I mean, all they're doing, last I checked, all they did was like show off like gameplay clips to give people an idea, like a refresher, or those who are new to the game, you know, what the gameplay is like. But there's like nothing in terms of like newer content, which, trust me, when a game has any form of any form of updates, then that spells troublesome. Like, as if like either the game developers don't care, or I don't know, maybe there's whatever, I don't know, maybe they're just running actually really maybe they just don't care but they'll just do bits and pieces of the game, again, demonstrating the gameplay, and that's it. But if they went out of their way from the reveal trailer during the state of play, saying that the game's gonna have new content, new characters, new costumes, then, you know, at least emphasize on that. Further explain, what do you mean by new characters? Do you mean new as in returning characters and new, or just straight up new? Because, well, not new characters, I said more characters. Because implying more characters means there's going to be multiple seasons maybe. Or is it just going to be one season pass, and a bunch of characters? New and old. New or old. Which one is it? This is why marketing is important. You need to, if you really want to push the sales on a game that you're going to release, or even re-release in this case, give people a reason. Give them a damn, worth a damn, why they should even pick up a game that is being re-released. Otherwise, in this case, really, Team Ninja just would be wasting their money and time over a game that didn't need to be re-released. People could just pick it up on PS4 and Xbox One, and there's a free-to-play version on that. And they could have just saved their time and effort and money on Dead or Alive 7. But I guess we found out where that money went into. Wulong DLC, Neo 3 DLC, and what was it? Yeah, Wulong 2. Which, hey, I guess that's not bad. That's a good trade-off. I mean, hey, if Team Ninja is gonna go out of the way to continue to make more games, fine. Neo 3 DLC, I can wait. And Wulong 2, sure. Dead or Alive 7, I'm down. But at least you should care about pretty much all of your games, including Last Round. And yeah, that's my word of wisdom of the day. Oh yeah, the Resident Evil Code Veronica. I found some funny complaints. So you know how the new trilogy of Resident Evil has more. They kind of like ditched the numbers. Like you can still see the Roman numbers in its title, right? But the way how Capcom titled them, it's Resident Evil Biohazard, Resident Evil Village, and then Resident Evil Requiem. Like the numbers don't exist. So when Code Veronica Remake was revealed, literally some people thought it was a new entry. They didn't know it was a remake of Code Veronica. So the comments were just flooded with like, I hope Leon is in the game. Oh boy, I hope it's in third person like Resident Evil 4 Remake and all that, and of course opposites like I hope Leon is not in the game. Only for them to eventually get told that, oh, it's a remake, not a new entry. But again, you can't blame them because Capcom, again, they worded the trilogy that they titled their game, they didn't put the numbers. So by just calling it Resident Evil Veronica is equivalent to calling your last game Resident Evil Requiem like it's a new mainline game. But it's not. Of course, longtime fans, old gamers, boomers, whatever you want to label us, we knew right off the bat it was a remake of Code Veronica. Heck, you can go on the Steam page and literally it says it right there. It's a remake of the 2000 release Resident Evil Code Veronica, and there's and there you have it. There's your confirmation. If you don't want to hear it from the words and the mouths of somebody random on the internet, because the internet, there's a lot of biased and things that you don't think is true, but it sounds true, like that stuff. But I assure you, yes, Resident Evil Veronica is a remake of Code Veronica that came out in 2000. It was on the Dreamcast, if I recall. It was on the Sega Saturn, wasn't it? Saturn, and then later ports came out, and then Capcom did a re-release on HD release on the game. And if you're still wondering, is Leon in it? No, he's not. But his name does get mentioned. That's it. that is the only thing Leon gets in Code Veronica. Also, it's been said, already, but and I think I said this too, but with the fact that Code Veronica is being remade, this definitely bridges the gap to make Resident Evil 5 remake, and there is nothing Capcom can do to revert it. Because think about it. Back from the original games, like Resident Evil 4, Wesker showed up there. No, he showed up in Code Veronica. Right, sorry, Code Veronica. He had a situation there. Then Resident Evil 4, he was scheming something. Both games led up to the events of Resident Evil 5. So, we went basically full circle. I mean, except it's the other way around. Wesker was revitalized for Resident Evil 4 remake, and now we have a Code Veronica remake where Wesker will be there. And then we get to the in a way the third game of where Wesker dies, because he's the villain of RE5, the main villain, final boss. Oh, was that a spoiler? Well, of course, it was so obvious. Hell, you could just play the original and get spoil yourself with the ending, and how the game's gonna go. Nothing about the RE5 remake is considered spoiler territory, unless it's like new content or some characters that get more screen time, like how they did that with Luis in the remake of 4. Although I guess in terms of spoilers, just the way how the game plays, but story structure, it's all the same. So yes, Wesker is bad guy, Wesker dies. The end. But yes, when I say full circle, get ready for the RE5 controversies to happen. Should the day when that day comes, when Capcom announces RE5 remake, we're back to Africa, and you know what that means? Oh yes, controversy time. Oh no, Chris Redfield is beating up Africans. Why would you do this, Capcom? You evil company. It's so easy to picture the scenario because we've been through it. We've been there, it's been done before, and yes, I assure you it's gonna happen again. And here I'm telling you people, just play the original. And hell, no, play Resident Evil from the beginning. And then you'll see why you're attacking Africans. They're not innocent they were innocent bystanders. But then Wesker and the lady who runs Tricell were like, Let's make business. Okay, let's infect all these people with Ouroboros, and now these innocent people are now turned into crazy, angry people that can now mutate, growing their mouths and tentacles and wings. And then it gets more trivial when the tribal people get infected. Yeah, I know. Very, very controversial. But then you realize, oh wait, isn't Sheva also African or something? I don't know. She's also fighting the enemies. Oh, and then who's the final boss? Oh, Wesker, of course. Duh. What were you expecting? Another, I don't know. Well, actually, no. I was gonna say Excella, the lady of Tricell, she was the villain, but yeah, she gets betrayed. But yeah. Just play the original 5 or any Resident Evil game leading up to 5, and perhaps and hopefully it'll change your mind, change your perspective, and realize that yeah, hello, the real villain is Wesker, not the Africans. They were just regular bystanders. They just got their butts dragged, forced to be eating what's the Ouroboros, basically the worms or leeches. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Leeches, and then suddenly blah, they grow wings, and they even mutate into that thing that instantly kills you. That thing that where the upper torso turns into like it covers itself in a shell, and then you have to like shoot the legs to expose the wing, the weakness. Yeah, you know those ones. Oh, and don't get me started on the freaking giant bugs. I hate those things because the moment they grab you, it's over. No escape, just instant kill. I assure you, Capcom's gonna keep those as they are. They didn't change Dr. Salvador, you know, the guy with the chainsaw. I mean, at least in the remake you can parry, so you know it's not. You can at least save yourself. But RE5, giant bug. I hate that giant bug. You have to also like shoot its giant pimples to kill it. Ugh, but. Easier said than done when it just slowly walks up to you, ready to give you a hug, and then starts stabbing Chris in the ribcage. Endlessly. Oh yeah, don't forget the QTEs. Well, I'm sure they're gonna get rid of those. But then, you know, it's similar to like RE4 remake. It'll be there in a way, but it's just like, you know, 1 or 2 buttons. Oh, and of course, yes, we'll get to finally see Chris punch a giant boulder. That has to still be there. Capcom knows. They've seen the memes. They've known the memes, the meme since, well, ever since it started getting popularized over the internet. Hell, Resident Evil Village, that magnet guy called Chris a boulder punching asshole. So yeah, they know. They wouldn't leave that out. Even to this day, I think it's the most ridiculous thing ever. The boulder is 5 times the size of Chris, and somehow, some way, Chris manages to shove that boulder. But you know what's more unrealistic? Chris, Sheva, and Wesker should already been melted because they're, you know, in a volcanic rim. You know how hot that is? They should be melting. Or if anything, Wesker should be the Ouroboros should have been burned immediately, considering that fire is its weakness. Anyways, I think that should be enough yapping. Yeah. So yeah. I'll stream whenever I can, sometime next week, and yeah, we're gonna be in for a special treat for ZZZ. New city in the sky, bamboos everywhere, big ones, small ones, some as big as your head. Excuse me, Bell and Wise gets a stand, and we're gonna see a bunch of characters that will make you remind you of how many polychromes you have, because get ready for a full year of deciding, is that character worth polling if you have enough. And here I'm just hoping that they get a few A rank characters. Otherwise, I said this as a big fat warning, if Season 3 ends up just giving us S-rank characters and no A's, no substitutes, Season 3 will be the season of when ZZZ hits its lowest low, where power creeping will escalate. People will slowly drift away from the game and be like, no, you made this game too hard, you catered it to whale players. Because when a gacha game only gives off new S rank characters and no A ranks, then you're gonna see a problem. You're gonna see a lot of problems. I already shared my pain with the Honkai Star Rail. I'm hoping the folks at the team of ZZZ does not do the exact same mistakes as the Honkai team. And I need to do all the side quests to get more tapes. Don't worry, we still have until what, Tuesday midnight? So yeah, plenty of time. If anything, you can just skip the cutscenes. At least when you skip a cutscene, they give you a summary, so you won't miss out much. Or really, if you don't have time, yeah, just do what I do. Skip all the cutscenes, just get straight to the point, get to the gameplay, and get the side quests done as soon as possible. Get all the good stuff. Get all the rewards, do the events as soon as possible. And yeah, that's that. And yeah, that'll be it. Actually, I'm just not realizing how many polychromes do I have left. Oh, I'm pretty sure I don't have a lot. Oh well. All right, so that'll be it for today. I hope you folks enjoy the rest of the weekend. And you folks have a good day and a good night. See ya, folks.